If you think this is a video where I'll give you a workout chart and diet chart and tell you that by following this you're gonna lose 10 kg in 30 days or 60 days, this is not the video for you. Why? Because I've been there, done that, ruined my relationship with food and my body, and I'm not doing that again. So no, thank you, bye. I'll give you 10 seconds to leave. Right? Time's up. Hello and welcome back to a new video. Since you stayed, I'm assuming you're in it for the long run. Before I start this video, I want you to give a brief introduction about my fitness journey, my wellness and healing journey. This is going to be a very brief introduction since I've already talked about this in this video. Anyways, this dates back to school days. You know that big kid who is probably the tallest in the entire class and has to stand at the very back during a line? Yes, I've always been that kid. So during my seniors year, 10th grade, I was probably my heaviest until I joined the gym when I was 16 and I lost a lot of weight. I wouldn't say fat because I lost everything. I lost muscles, I lost fat, I lost my heart and my brain, everything. Fast forward to 2021 when I was probably 15 kgs lighter than my heaviest weight, but I was also in a very toxic relationship that was weighing me down and I entered into a binge phase. I haven't ever mentioned about my toxic ex, but that's a story for some other day. But that was also a time in my life when I started binge eating and just ate away my emotions. Yeah, that was not good. So my binge eating led to me gaining around 8 kgs until I went on a healing voyage and went to Canada to meet my sister for the very first time. My first trip to Canada was a time when I was away from home after a very long time. That was also a time when I took a lot of time to self-reflect and fix a lot of things in my life, especially getting out of a toxic relationship, but also gaining that self-love and self-confidence back and actually realizing how to love myself again. I had a lot of good food experiences in Canada and I enjoyed eating food, but that didn't mean my binge eating just stopped. When I came back from Canada, I was 8 kgs heavier and the difference in my weight was very much visible. My face was puffy, my body was puffy, and I did not even care about it until people started pinpointing it and telling me,
"Oh, have you gained weight?" No, I did not gain weight, can't you see?
So the reason I also gained weight in Canada because there was no routine, no discipline, no self-control. I did not have any power in me to say no. So when I came back, I continued to go to the gym as usual, but there was no fixed routine. I was not very strict with my routine. I was not even very consistent, to be very honest. There was no diet plan. I was just going to the gym because I felt less stressed. Okay, so I just went to the gym because I felt less stressed and I feel like lifting weights just healed something in me, which it still does, but I was not consistent at all. I did not have a plan or I was not disciplined, and again, I did not have the power to say no. I just enjoyed my college life. The last year of my college, I partied a lot and it was not healthy, but I continue to gain weight. No matter how hard I try, I did have a lot of body image issues. So my binge eating continued in full swing until the last year of my college. I went to Canada again last year, which is summer of 2023, for my sister's graduation. So the way this year was different because your girl was no longer in a toxic relationship. Yeah, at the same time, I did not have self-control. I did not know how to say no, and when I came back, I gained 8 kgs again. I was my heaviest. That was the time when I decided to be serious and really committed to working out again and like find my passion again, like have that fire in me again. So that's when I started working out again right after I came back from Canada. So from September 2023 onwards, I made a promise to myself that I'm going to go to the gym at least 6 times or 5 times a week. And I just focused on building my habit to go to the gym in those 2 months. From November 2023 till March 2024, I managed to lose 10 kg. And I know it's not the fastest. I lost 10 kgs in the most realistic way possible. And apart from losing 10 kg, I gained a lot of discipline, self-control, and the power to say no. So that's why I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is not one of those reels where I tell you how to lose 10 kgs in 20-30 days, because this is a realistic change. This is a shift in your lifestyle. Just like to mention that I have my own body image issues, I have my personal battles and my good and bad days. So if I can do it, so can you. Because trust me when I say this, I went from a point where I thought that I could never lose that weight to now losing 10 kgs and feeling much better, sexier. So trust in yourself, and if you want to lose 10 kgs for good and not let it come back, then this video is for you. So take a seat, let's get into it. So this video will be divided into 3 parts: mindset, diet, exercise, and my last 2 cents. So let's talk about mindset. Before you start anything that you want to really achieve or you want to attain in life, the very first step is to know your why. Bold letters, why. Why do you have to know your why? So when you start your fitness journey, first 2 days or 3 days, you're going to be very motivated to go to the gym and follow a good diet. Then everything's going to be perfect. But that motivation kind of dies down after a few days, to be very honest and real. And when that motivation dies down, your why comes to play. You have to remember, why did you start doing this in the first place? Why did you start going to the gym? Why are you eating a healthy diet? So learn your why by heart. Personally for me, my why was because I felt very underconfident in my body, to a point where I stopped going to social events, stopped meeting my friends, stopped buying new clothes, stopped going to the mall and trial rooms. It also got to a point where I used to wear pretty much the same few number of clothes in rotation, because those were the only clothes that used to fit me. That put me in a really bad mental health. Apart from that, I also did not like the way my body moved. It moved pretty slow. I always used to feel sluggish, lazy. I did not feel like doing anything, and I did not have self-control. So I did not like that version of myself. Why did I have to change? This was why I had to change. So that was my why. But your why could be pretty similar or different from mine. It could be you want to get over someone, to stay fit, you want to move, you want to be a muscle mommy, or you just want to be a happier person, you know. So your why and my why could be anything, but there should be one thing common. Whenever you think about your why, it should light a little fire inside your heart. It should just get you moving. If you're sitting and chilling on the bed thinking about excuses, that's the moment when your why plays a major role. You have to go to the gym because your why. That needs to be very strong. So write down your why on a piece of paper and stick it either in your bathroom or your closet, and keep looking at it every single day. Next tip, learn to say no. First to yourself, and then saying no to people around you will become much easier. What do I mean by learn to say no? So when you live a life without any discipline, without any routine, without any self-control, saying yes, both saying yes to yourself and the people around you, becomes very easy. For example, I practice intermittent fasting every now and then. For those of you who don't know intermittent fasting, you have to fast for 16 hours out of the 24 hours and eat only in the 8-hour window. And a major reason for me to follow intermittent fasting is because willpower and self-control that I can build through it. I learned to say no and stop or take a pause. After my eating window is finished, I still crave something sweet, but then I have to remind myself, no, that does not fit with my goals. It's not like I cannot have the piece of cookie because it would make me fat or anything. I just choose not to have that piece of cookie. I choose to say no to my cravings. And sometimes that craving might not even be strong, but because I'm so used to saying yes, sure, go for it to myself, I will just give in to my craving. And one of the reasons saying no to yourself and actually obeying through it is so important, because it helps to build self-confidence. When you say that you're going to do something, or when you say that you're going to say no to yourself whenever you crave something and you actually say it, it builds self-confidence, honey. And self-confidence makes you feel very powerful. Let me tell you that. So learn to say no to yourself first. Personally, I feel that whenever you're too used to saying yes to yourself, you kind of use that as an excuse to run from your responsibilities, and always keep giving yourself excuses that, oh, I couldn't work out today because I had to go to the supermarket. But in the first place, going to the supermarket was not even your priority. That brings us to point number 3, setting priorities and not giving yourself excuses. You have a goal, you have a purpose, you have an action plan, but something comes up. That just gives you an excuse to put your responsibilities down the drain. No, that's not how it's gonna work. You gotta set set your priorities straight. Have a good hierarchy of priorities. So your priority could be getting in 30 minutes of workout per day. For example, for me, my priority is getting in an hour of workout before I sit down to work. And anything that comes up before my workout can wait until and unless it's an emergency. So set your priorities wisely. I've caught myself giving a ton of excuses. Oh, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. There's gonna be way too much of traffic. It never works out. I honestly feel guilty because I know that those were just excuses made by my mind to choose comfort over putting in work. So be true to yourself. You need to know when you're giving excuse to yourself and just snap out of it. Now let's talk about diet. First and foremost, don't starve yourself. If you starve yourself, ultimately your body will go in a fight or flight mode and it will start holding water, but also you're going to lose all that booty and it ain't cute. In all seriousness, don't starve yourself. You don't have to starve yourself in order to lose weight. Here are some tips that might help you with the diet part and still help you lose weight. Good amount of it. Yes, you don't have to starve yourself. Congratulations. Tip number 1, don't skip your meals. One of the reasons that we might overeat sometimes is because we are skipping meals. For example, if you skip your breakfast, you might just be a hangry dog by lunchtime and you might eat twice the portion of your lunch and breakfast combined. So do not skip your meals. It's not healthy. It's not advisable. Do not recommend. Next up, you might hear a lot of people saying, eat your protein. You might have heard me saying that a lot of times. Eat your damn protein. And you might have seen a lot of reels emphasizing on high protein diets. Let's talk about why is protein so important even on a fat loss journey, especially on a fat loss journey. Actually, at any stage of your life, protein is very important. Let's get into a little bit of science. So basically, protein and complex carbs have a higher thermic effect than simple carbs and fats. What is thermic effect? So whenever you eat proteins and complex carbs, your body uses calories, that is energy, to digest and metabolize that protein. For example, if you're having a source of protein that is, say, 100 calories, your body will use up to 20 to 30% of those calories to digest that protein, which means if your body uses 30% of those calories, there is only 70 of the usable calories. Protein has the highest thermic effect. That means your body will use more energy to digest that protein. So that also explains why protein has a pretty satiating feeling. Next point, know your food. Learn your food and learn how to cook your food as well. One way you can do this is to cook your own meals and track your macros. I personally love to track my food, my macros, because it gives me a fair view of what I'm putting into my body, how much carbs, proteins, and fats. Yeah, tracking my food really helps. So we all love eating from outside. You don't have to completely demolish that part of you. Even if you want to eat something from outside, maybe limit it to once or twice. That is 1 or 2 meals from outside per week. Or Swiggy, Zomato can wait. You don't have to uninstall them, but you have to practice self-control. But I would still highly recommend you to start cooking your own meals so that you know what goes into your body. Add a lot of high fiber foods to your diet. Add fruits, vegetables, girl, don't be shy. Honestly, fruits are a blessing, man. Fruits are underrated. Especially for me, fruits were very underrated for a very long time. Some of my favorite fruits that always give me that sweet spot are pineapple and apple. They are very low calorie, but they always hit my sweet spot. And some of the vegetables that feel very effortless for me are capsicum, that is bell peppers, and lettuce. You can never go wrong with that. And mushrooms. I mean, I never used to like mushrooms, but bro, mushrooms are pretty good. You can add tons of vegetables. Don't be shy, girl. You will at least get to know what you like and what you don't like. Don't be afraid to experiment with your meals. Next point, look for good alternatives. You just gotta experiment with cooking. So some of my favorite inventions with food replacing the high calories with the lower calories are grilled chicken burger with double patty for the extra protein pancakes with some maple syrup, doesn't hurt nobody. And I also love having fish with udon noodles for dinner, and these are all under 500 calories. Hit me up if you need a video with the recipes. So basically my point is, I never used to be the person who used to love cooking, but I have grown to love cooking because I get to experiment with my food, experiment with high protein recipes, and also replace the ingredients that align with my goals and ingredients that don't. Now, my last point regarding diet, and this is the most important point: be in a caloric deficit. How do you calculate your caloric deficit? It's pretty easy. Go on Google, type in my calorie calculator. I will also drop a link in the description so that that it could be easier for you. Once you go there, you just have to type in your gender, your age, your weight, and they're just gonna ask you how actively you work out, and that will get you a calculator. It's also gonna tell you when you're gonna be on slight deficit, medium deficit, or a very large deficit. I'd say start with a slight deficit and keep decreasing your calories gradually. Being in a calorie deficit is the only way you're gonna lose weight. And to be very honest, your diet is literally 70% of you losing weight. Anyways, coming to our next part. Exercise. I'm gonna keep it very short, simple, and sweet. You just gotta move. Just move your body. Be it going for a walk, going for a swim, going for a little bicycle ride, going for a run, going to the gym, lifting weights, anything. You just need to move your body. Personally, for me, my choice of movement is lifting weights because I love throwing heavy shit around. Also because I want to tone up my body and build some muscles and be a muscle mommy probably and have that little big booty. But yeah, my choice of movement is lifting weights, but your choice of movement could be just walking while listening to a podcast. Literally anything. You don't need to go to the gym to lose weight. You can do skipping. I feel like skipping is one of the best ways to lose weight. Maybe you can start with 500 skips a day and gradually increase it to 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1000. Apart from lifting, my choice of movement is also walking. I absolutely love walking. Walking is very therapeutic to me. Just going for a walk and putting in my headphones while listening to either Leo or the Wizard Liz, my day is made. And sometimes even without a podcast, whenever I go for a walk, it just gives me a moment with my thoughts. Basically, I love walking. But apart from normal walks, I also try to incorporate 20 to 25 minutes of incline walk after my strength training. I have been seeing good results and would definitely recommend if you're trying to lose fat. So as I said, I'm going to keep this part really short because it's not that complicated. You just gotta move your damn body. Yeah. It's really that simple. Please don't overcomplicate it. Coming to the last part of this video, my last 2 cents. Tip number 1, consistency. Whatever you do, just be consistent. It doesn't matter if you had a shitty workout today, just go tomorrow as well. And be consistent with your workouts, be consistent with your diet, and do not fall off track way too often. But that also brings me to the second tip, that is, don't be afraid of failure. Whenever you start actively making a change in your lifestyle, you're going to fail a lot of times. I failed a lot of times and I still fail a lot of times, but the only reason that I'm still able to achieve my goals is because I am not afraid of failure anymore. I have accepted failure as a part of my journey, and I know that with every up in my life there might also be a down that I might associate as a failure, but I have just come to accept it and actually start embracing failure. It's okay if you effed up your diet today. You did not fail as a person. You are not a failure. Tomorrow is a new day. You can restart tomorrow again. So don't be afraid to failure and don't be afraid to restart. Nobody is keeping account of how many times you fail or how many times you restart. So don't worry. You need to show up. You need to show up for yourself, for your goals, and you will see that nothing becomes unachievable or impossible. Just be consistent. Keep putting in the work every single day. Even if you manage to put a small effort on some day, effort is effort. It still counts. It still adds up to the progress. So just be consistent, my lady.
And don't be afraid of failure or restarting.
And I'm going to emphasize it way too much. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope I could give you some of my knowledge, and I hope it helped you in some way. If you have any queries, just comment down below and I would love to answer them. So I would like to end this video with a little small quote that I have on my vision board, and I keep it in my bathroom, but I look at it every single day, which keeps me kind of motivated. So it's something like, discipline, consistency, and perseverance will take you places that motivation could never. So stay focused and keep getting hotter and sexier. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.